All right, guys, it is another Friday night here in Houston, Texas. Chuck and I are coming at you live here on Airhockey 360. This is our weekly championship at the Robin Hood House. We are into the second round and into some elimination matches. We will be having a second round match coming up shortly between Tyler Gibson and Rolf Moore. Young player against a KG veteran should be a fairly exciting match. But apparently that's happening in the back room, and at this table we're going to have Phil Arnold and Tony.
All right, well, we're just going to call the substitution here, get ourselves recalibrated. Sometimes these things happen. You kind of got to move on the fly. So we'll just roll with it here. Everything's flipped.
Away we go.
Getting ready to get started here in the second round. Looking like it's going to be in for some heavy action. Try to get rid of these delays here so that we can bring in the straight action here. We know you like to see it.
Folks, if you'd like to follow the brackets live, you can do so at live.brackalope.com. In the search space, type in Robin Hood. We will be the first tournament that comes up, and you can follow along live. I am just going to double check to make sure that's really what's going on.
And here we go. We're getting ready to get into some action here. Face off at center court. A couple of wily vets here. Should be some great action.
I believe that Tony's going to get a couple points in this match. I will get the scores all caught up. As always, the Robin Hood Weekly is a handicap tournament. Tony is playing at a level 5 against a level 4 against Phil Arnold at level 6. So our friend Tony will be getting
2 points, yeah.
2-point head start on each at the beginning of each of these games. Each match consists of a best-of-3 format. First player to score 7 points wins the game. First player to win 2 games wins the match. This is a double elimination format, so 1 loss does not send you packing. 2 losses will have you throwing your equipment in your trunk and headed home.
Phil out here holding his own early, keeping pace with Tony. I'm sorry, I said it the other way. Tony's keeping his space with Phil. Woo, it's definitely Friday night, y'all. Struggling over my tongue here.
We are 1 minute in, and Tony's still holding that 2-point advantage over Phil at 4-2. Phil unable to make up the stagger as of yet. Phil is a very, very savvy veteran, though, and will change his style of play to fit his opponent.
And he just got one in there off a nice cut. So it's going to be really interesting here as we get a little bit of volley back and forth. Oh, and Phil gives it up again.
Sorry about the delay, guys. Now you should be able to find our tournament on the Brackalope site, and you can. It's the first one that comes up if you want to follow along live with what's going on. Just to take a quick look at the brackets here, we do have a few players into the losers bracket. Who won that first match?
I believe
first game. Tony?
Tony
Goes ahead and is going to close out Phil here in game number 1. I believe the final score was 7-4. I will try to get updated on that for you. But he was able to close out match number 1 in less than 3 minutes. I will see if I can get an update on the Rolf Moore Tyler Gibson match going on table number 2. Solid turnout tonight here at the Robin Hood House. 10 competitors competing for our cash prize pool. The Robin Hood Weekly is open to the public. Your first visit is free. Any subsequent times you'd like to visit our competition, it is a small $5 donation. But don't you worry, that donation goes into the prize pool, and that will be what you're playing for. Tony and Phil starting off a little bit slower here in game number 2, and as I say it, I put the bad Ushka on Phil, and Tony brings one down the right-hand side, and it finds a home.
Woo! Tony scores again.
Tony off and running here in what is his round number 2 match against Phil Arnold. Tony and Phil both catching a bye through round number 1. Oops. Is Tony really at 5? Tony's only at 4. We are at 4-1.
I think it's 4-2
now we're at 4-2.
Yes.
This game playing out just like game number 1 did.
So
Tony
far.
not relinquishing that early head start at all. Phil with a beautiful forehand off the left
He's
rail.
definitely making Phil work for it. He's not giving him anything easy. No quarter.
And Tony's been on the wrong end of some losses to Phil Arnold, so I'm sure he would love to get some sweet retribution here. Again, neither of these players with a loss, so a loss here will just send them into our elimination bracket, which is the long way to make the championship table. The longer you can delay ending up in that elimination bracket, the better chance you have of making the final. As always, we are brought to you by the I-45 Bingo Hall, located at the corner of I-45 North and FM 1960 in the North Houston area. They've got games starting up there tonight in about 25 minutes. Make sure you work your way up there and take your chance at a guaranteed $10,000 in cash and prizes. As Tony moves ahead 6-3. And Phil now looking at the wrong end of match point and a trip to the elimination side of our tournament.
Gotta say, I didn't expect to see that.
No, this would be a shocking upset here early on. Lots of youngsters in the field this evening as well. Definitely heavy on the 20-somethings. These two of our older competitors. But no stranger to deep runs in the Robin Hood final. Either of these guys. Both have made deep runs. Both have made championship tables. Both have won here on Friday night. Gonna look to see if they can teach these youngsters a thing or two. Phil cuts the
Still
lead.
hanging in there, yeah.
Phil cuts the lead to 6-4. Nice backhand down the right side. Tony tried to get the mallet over, but just was not quick enough.
Is that like a little James Harden step back there? A little kick out there? Never know what you're going to see here, huh? A little bit of everything.
Mr. Arnold with some trying the deke with the mallet, but unsuccessful on the shot.
Feels very steady out there. Defensively, very steady.
At this point, he's going to have to be. He's been on the defensive ever since the puck dropped in this match. Tony really taking apart Phil's defense and trying to open up a hole on the right side. And he finally finds it, sneaks it down, takes the rail out of the equation, and Tony's going to finish off Phil 7-4, 7-4. And an entertaining opening match here on Friday night. All right, folks, we're going to cut away for about 90 seconds. We will be right back after this short word from our sponsor. Okay, folks, we are back and with some exciting live air hockey action here at the Robin Hood Weekly in the lovely West University neighborhood of Houston, Texas. Obviously, the talk around town today is the Astros' opening victory in the ALDS. Mighty Mouse Jose Altuve finally getting a piece of the big man glass now. Cheated on a fastball and cheated it all the way into that short porch and left. This match here is going to be between Stormy Edwards and Mike Watts. Both of these are level 1 players, so you will not be seeing that head start that we saw in our last match. I believe both these players are first-time visitors as well to the Robin Hood house, so it should be pretty exciting. And Watts scores early on a defensive mistake from Stormy.
Well, here we go now. I'm going to have a little bit of a rally back and forth. Oh, Watts gets another one in on it.
Nice forehand from Watts that time. Really tough angle off that right rail. Obviously, right off the bat, you noticed the difference in the quality of play.
Yes, I was noticing that there is a different stylistic, ability of the players here, but they're still getting some pretty good action here.
Decent action, obviously the pace noticeably slower, and the accuracy not going to be there. Lots of inexperienced air hockey players have a tendency to either become over aggressive and opening up their goal for the opportunity to score, or they're not aggressive enough, kind of like Watts is doing right here, where he just leaves his mallet in the middle of the scoring zone. I'll tell you right now, against better players, that never works. They'll
banging it off the side like you just saw there.
For the most part, they won't even be banging it off the side. They'll just go left, right, left, right, left, right until you finally miss one.
I gotta say, if it was me, I would probably be doing just that, a mixture of those two terrible things.
Also, both these players with very amateur grips, neither with the 3 fingers. Really just a full-on grip. Obviously, in this game, it's a lot like golf or a baseball bat. You want to hold the mallet like an egg. You don't want to choke it to death. That was Stormy who just knocked in another one, but Mike with the quick answer, and we are now at 4-3. Watts scores again, moves ahead 5, evens it up at 4. Or maybe even at 5, and we missed.
No, it's 5-4.
It is 5-4.
But he got it backwards on the.
And now Watts is looking at game point here in the opening game of this match.
I had it backwards. I take it back. And there it is.
Nice shot from Watts to finish off game number 1, 7-4. Clocks it in at just right at 2 minutes and 40 seconds for game number 1. Another big difference you're going to notice, folks, you're going to see lots of multi-rail attempts by these rookie-level players. When you start seeing the more savvy players in the strategies they employ, they rarely, if ever, use multi-rail attempts because the puck just loses way too much velocity coming off that second rail. And against the stronger players, they are able to just turn around and counter a straight ripper right down the middle. So Mike opens the scoring here in game number 2 and scores 2 unanswered. Moves out early on Miss Stormy Edwards. Not to be confused with the other Stormy we've seen in the news lately. This one seems like a nice girl. Ooh, little bit of a botched attempt by Miss Edwards there, unable to get a clean mallet on the puck, and ends up with the air hockey equivalent of an air ball, but it doesn't matter. She's off the scoring schneid with a nice little backhand down the right side. Watts unable to get the mallet over to cover that side of the goal.
She'd be wise to try to employ that. Well, I say that, and then she gets eaten up by a defensive mistake. But that straight shot could be her friend if she would just try to use it a little bit more frequently.
Especially against other inexperienced players. Those straight shots down the middle are almost tougher to block, especially if you can get some accuracy on them. They generally will panic and move their mallet out of the way. Where those shots off the rail definitely lack accuracy. And there's one of those multi-rails. Obviously it was an accident from Watt, but you see how much velocity a puck loses as soon as it kisses a rail the second time, where a single rail shot like the one we just saw carries all kinds of speed and is a lot harder to stop. Edwards on the verge of a trip to the elimination bracket here.
And it's point game.
And as if on cue, Watts moves ahead to match point at 6-2.
And finishes it out.
Fourth defensive mistake from Miss Edwards, and Watts is going to close her out 7-4, 7-2 in straight games. I am going to leave this in my partner Chuck's capable hands, and I will be right back, folks.
All right, we're going to take a small 90-second break, and we'll be back with some more action here.
So you just cut down to this. Other skinny kids, I learned to suck down cigarettes in less than 5.
And we're back. You caught a little side banner there between myself and Jay. We have Jacob and Marino. Jacob's a level 6, Marino's a level 7. But he has declined to take his points in this game, so we're going to play it straight up. All right. Getting ready to get down here for the face-off. I'm going to be manning the ship here solo dolo, so forgive me here for the little blunders. We're off. Pretty tight face-off and a quick score by Marino. All right, we're going to get a little action here back and forth. Ooh, Marino in there again. Quick 2-0 lead. Jacob's going to have to settle in here to this match. Up 3-0 for Marino. Pretty good action here back and forth. They're chewing up the table. And Marino again. And we're off the table. Got a little flipper. Marino slowing it down, trying to pick his spots. Gets another one. Sorry there on the score. Let me get you updated. Properly, it's 5-0. 6-0. Oh my. This could be a complete wipeout in the first game. Haven't seen one of those. Not in a couple of weeks I've been calling it here. Oh, and he slides one in for Munoz. Probing going on back and forth. Who's going to get the better of it? And Munoz scores again. Oh, but then Marino gets in. I'm trying to get here. Okay. And up. That was a quick one for Munoz. Up, and then Marino gets one right back. Getting some tense action back and forth. This is the right. I want to make sure I have that right there. 2 up. All right. Oops. Okay, so Marino has 3. He's taking a slight lead on Munoz here in game 2. Munoz going to have to get it together here to battle back. And there he goes, tied up. 3-3. Ooh, a straight shot that barely missed. Ooh, good battle back and forth right now. Meeting in the center of the court. Very good straight shot there from Marino. Really controlling the pace here with the varied shot types. Wow, Munoz gets one back. Very, very tense game here, game 2. So very close. Lots of near misses. Very good defense. And then Munoz sneaks one in. Oh, Marino gets it right back. This is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Score is 5-5. Oh, very deft straight shot from Munoz. He's got point game. He needs this to tie it up. Oh, he must have a jammed finger. Puck caught a little bit of the finger there. Gonna get your stinger. I mean, you can hear the velocity on that puck. Whoa, Marino ties it at 6. Match either way. Who's going to take it? Marino playing way out front on the defense. That's a lot of confidence. Oh, and Marino loses his flipper. Paddle, excuse me. Munoz here trying a clever series of moves, but he's not getting it home. Oh, and he bangs one in. One game each. Shoot. Each side has 1 point here. In our final game 3. Uh-oh, Marino's up 2-1 now. Here we are in a tiebreaker match. A very tense game going on between Munoz and Marino. Marino having won set 1. Munoz having won set 2. Tied up here in the third set at 2 apiece. Oh, and Munoz sneaks another one, and he seems to have found his stride. Oh, and then I say that, and he gives one right back to Marino. Oh, and Munoz gets another one through there. Very tight game, ladies and gentlemen. Very tight game. Yes, you can tell. Munoz definitely has settled into himself. Oh, Marino slides one by to tie it up at 4.
Got a good game 3 going here for all the marbles in this elimination bracket match. Winner of this moves on into the elimination bracket semifinal, quarterfinals to face off against Chris Gibson. Again, folks, if you'd like to follow along, you can go to Brackalope.com, type Robin Hood into the search engine, and the first tournament, the first result that comes up will be this evening's tournament. I do believe we are at 6-6, and we are to match point, and it's going to go to Marino.
Wow.
And what a match,
What a
folks.
barn burner. What a absolute barn burner.
So Mr. Marino going to finish off Mr. Munoz 7-6, and unfortunately that means that Jacob Munoz, this year's most improved player at the World Championships, will be calling it a night. We're going to cut away for about 30 seconds, and we will be right back after this short word from All right, guys, we are back. This is going to be our winners bracket semifinal between Tyler Gibson and Tony Morris. Tyler in red, Tony in gray. Tony with possession, and I think this is an even match, but we'll have to see the opening score just to make sure.
There's a point. So, yes, it does look to be an evenly matched game.
So Tyler opens the scoring, but Tony with a quick answer off that right rail.
Wow. It's a bang-bang kind of game here.
Two quick exchanges, and we are at 2-2, 30 seconds in. This one may be done in a hurry tonight, folks. Great block and counter by Gibson there. Froze the puck, and then a ripper off the left rail. Snuck it right behind the defense of Tony Morris. But Morris with another answer, and we're all mounted up again at 3.
Getting a lot of good action tonight in these games. A lot more evenly matched players, it seems. So the action is coming hot and heavy, and the scores are pretty tight.
Yeah, we haven't really seen any blowouts tonight. No skunks either, and I don't believe we've had any of those happen in the back room either, as Tony finally takes his first lead of the match at 4-3. But it is very short-lived as Gibson ties it with another shot down the right-hand side. Again, folks, as always, our sponsors tonight are the I-45 Bingo Hall here in the North Houston area, the 145 North, and FM 1960, as well as Streamlabs, which is obviously the software we use to bring the cast every week, and where'sthegig.com. Always a musician's best friend. Track your gigs, track your income, track everything you need if music is your business. I do believe now Tony Morris is ahead 5-4 on Tyler Gibson. Oh, some sloppy defense there. Oh no, that is going to be it. Tony Morris going to finish off Tyler Gibson. I believe 7-4 there in game number 1. A little bit of a lengthy game by air hockey standards, stretching out to almost 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Players switch side at the conclusion of each game. Looks like our players are taking a quick break, so we will do so as well.
Now that there is a cold beverage.
Yes, it is, and Brockmeyer ain't got nothing on me since nobody's listening anyways. But we do love what we do. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of liquid entertainment to make it that much more fun for our listeners. Obviously, we won't give a shout out to the beer company because they don't give me any money. But I will say that Yellow Bellies on a Friday night do have their place in American life. Tony Morris opens the scoring at the 3-minute 30-second mark. Moves ahead 1-0 on Tyler Gibson. If this is going to be another repeat of game number 1, we should see an answer.
And there it is.
But not this time. Morris out to a
quick
3-0
lead.
3-0 lead. Morris wasting no time seizing control of this match here in game number 2, and then some unintended help from Gibson as he makes a mistake. Recovers from it a little with a nice shot, but a big hill to climb against Morris with the way this match has gone.
And quickly it's 5-1.
Fairly certain Tony Morris doesn't want to see this match last 2.5 minutes. This one's going to be over in about 90 seconds if Gibson doesn't find some defense. And Morris, just like that, out to a 6-1 lead. Once again, the announcer's curse strikes. We said we had not seen a blowout game yet tonight. And Tony Morris on cue
delivers.
Rips Tyler Gibson 7-1 in game number 2. after a sudden death victory in game number 1. So congratulations to Tony Morris. He is through to the winner's bracket final. He will face off with Mike Watts to decide our first entrant to the championship table this evening. Good show from Tyler Gibson, but unfortunately he will be moving into the elimination bracket, and he will be facing off against the legend Phil Arnold in the elimination bracket quarterfinals, which we will have coming up for you right after this. All right, guys, we are back. This is an elimination bracket quarterfinal between Chris Gibson and Anthony Marino. And Chris Gibson out to a quick 3-1 lead on Marino. Gibson getting a 1-point head start. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm listening to the score in the other room that's next to me. This one is still 0-0. My apologies. Looks like if Gibson was going to get any points, he has denied them for this match.
That is the first point of the game there. Got one in. Oh, now we have a tie game. 1-1. Just like that. Oh, now we have 2-1. Oh, tied at 2.
All knotted up. Nice shot by Marino.
Wow, he just lulled him to sleep there to slide that one on by.
Just a ripping shot down the middle, too. Anthony Marino with lots of velocity on that last shot.
I have to blame the Chad Kroger for that one. Flew it right off the table.
Since we're just making things up as this night goes on anyways, Anthony Marino, the long-lost brother of NFL great Nan.
Okay. Just letting you know, Chris denied his points.
And I have just been informed that Chris did deny his points in this match.
I'm plugging it back in.
Don't, because that's what pops the electricity in here.
Don't plug it back in.
Sorry about the interruption, folks. I think we're all knotted up at 4. I just looked away for half a second
It looks
and
like
we
5-4, actually.
scored 3 or 4 points. The score could be 5-4. I'm trying to pick up the score from our official, but the yellow bellies are starting to take effect in my vision as well.
Everything is so blurry.
And
Yeah,
it
that's
was
six.
5-4
Yes.
as Marino moves ahead to game point at 6-4. Gibson putting up a stellar performance, denying, I believe, 3 points in this match against Marino, and he is holding his own. If he'd have taken his points, he would have won already.
Yeah, so now it is 6-5. You may come to rue that decision.
That's a decision better made on the winner's bracket side of things when you have a loss to play with. Really bold by Gibson making that move in the elimination brackets.
Now that is supreme confidence in your game against whom you obviously feel to be an inferior opponent. But again, he paid for that one. Looks like he got a little bit of his finger there.
Oof. This puck does move with some velocity, folks, and it will pinch your finger. Folks, if we experience some technical difficulties here in the next minute or two, I will do my best to get the feed back up for you as quickly as I can. But we just heard the double click of death coming from our battery backup. And what a comeback by Chris Gibson in game number 1. Fell behind 3 and able to rip off 3 unanswered at 6-4 down to win game 1 7-6. Good show from Gibson.
Yeah, that's a lot of heart. That is a whole lot of heart to come back from a 3-point deficit like that.
Especially in a game where points come so quickly.
Yes.
3 points can, 1 point can come in a blink of an eye. And especially against a higher ranked player like Anthony Marino.
Who might be regretting giving those points back now. Now that that game is officially in the books.
No, it was Marino. It was Gibson who waived his points.
Gibson
It was
who
the
waived his
lower ranked
points.
player who came back from
That makes it
down
definitely
and looking at
impressive.
game point. That was a really
Yeah, it
impressive
was
comeback
gritty.
from the youngster.
So in effect, he overcame 5 points.
Gibson going to some diamond drift work here, trying to open up a hole in the defense of Marino. Been unable to do it so far. Marino solid on the defensive side of the table here early on.
Got another lost puck. And back on the table we go. Resume the action.
Now, if the puck does leave the table, folks, there's a couple different options for what can happen. If a shot attempt was made and it's blocked aside and the puck leaves the table, the player who blocked the shot actually will retain possession of the puck. By blocking the shot, it's almost considered a win. Now, if the player who shoots the puck just hits the rail real hard and it launches off the table, the defensive player will receive the puck as well. Now, if a player takes a shot and the player on defense makes an offensive move and does not try to freeze the puck, I do believe the possession will go back to the player who attempted the shot. I will double check on those rules and have those answers for you, hopefully by next week.
Definitely a future broadcast.
We should be seeing an uptick in the attendance over the next couple of weeks as the Texas State Air Hockey Championships are coming up on the weekend on November 5th. I do believe that's the first weekend of next month. We are holding the Texas State Championships in the Mekong Underground, one of our newer venues. If you haven't been by to check it out, I highly recommend it. The air hockey tables are open for use 7 days a week, and the Mekong Underground is the music venue at Khan's Wine and Art Bar, located at 2808 Milam. And Marino has now battled back in game number 2 from a huge deficit.
Looks like they're trading leads
See
here.
if he can put a stamp on his comeback like Gibson did in his on game number 1.
Wouldn't that be poetic justice?
Marino now going to the driftwood, trying to open up a hole in the defense. Again,
So
unable
interesting.
to do so.
How each side is slowly unpeeling their strategies here back and forth. You almost get the feeling like they're laying coy.
Good shot from Marino, and he is the first to game point. Marino obviously needing to win this game to extend the match. Gibson was facing a bigger deficit than this in game number 1. Staring at game point, was able to come back with 3 unanswered,
But not this time.
not in game number 2. Marino going to finish him off 7-5. Nice shot from Anthony to finish
Very
off
nice.
game number 2.
So here we are again to another sudden death game 3. Lots of great action tonight. Again, a lot of very evenly matched players. So there's a lot more drama in the games.
And our winners bracket final has been set, folks. It is going to be Mike Watts against Tony Morris for the first coveted spot at our championship table this evening. The loser of that match will get a pass all the way to the elimination bracket finals and a second attempt to make our championship table. Still all tied up at 0 apiece here in the rubber game of this match between Gibson and Marino. But lots of fast and furious action. Gibson coming out on top in game number 1, Marino coming out on top in game number 2, and both players with significant comebacks from behind in their game wins. Marino opens the scoring here in game number 3. Nice shot off the right rail. Gibson with no defensive answer for that question Marino had to ask, and Marino asks him again, and Gibson again cannot shut him down.
Got a good couple of straight shots right down the pike on Gibson there.
Marino stepping it up, and all the momentum really starting to go his way. Saw him really take over at 5-3 in game number 2, ran it up to 6-3. Gibson able to get it as close as 6-5, but Marino closing him out and winning game 2, 7-5. He sees control of this match and is really laying the hammer down on Gibson now. Gibson finally off the schneid, but spotting a player like Marino 3 points is not a good recipe for success. Marino with the arm block, and that's going to cost him a possession on the penalty. Marino still in control of this match at, I believe, 4-1. Gonna need to talk to our official Tyler Gibson about his
Hand placement.
about his hand placement on the
Yeah.
scoring.
Yeah.
Marino really rolling now, out to 5-1 on Gibson. And
It is almost good night,
looking-
Irene.
Yeah. This gets to 6-1. Gibson's in real trouble. Gibson really probably needs to get 3 unanswered right here to really have
There's the
a
start.
chance in this match. But 3 also has to start with 1, and there's the second one.
That's 3. It's 5-3, yeah.
Marino's employing that bare arm block, and that is a really Bush League move, folks. I was going to let it go when he did it the first time, but he just made 2 more attempts at blocking a shot with his arm and not the mouth. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to stay impartial in these matches, but after seeing that twice, I'd really like to see Gibson come back and finish off Marino right here. I'm unfamiliar with Anthony Marino. I have been doing these broadcasts since January. This is the first night I've seen him, and I thought I knew most, if not all, of the level 7 players. Marino now at match point, and Gibson really, really in danger now of packing his bags and going home.
Slides one by, though.
Gonna have to have, and that's gonna do it, folks. Marino with the quick restart finishes off Chris Gibson 7-4 in game number 3, and he is going to finish off Chris Gibson with a game tally of 2-1. And once again, folks, my name is Jay, and from my partner Chuck, we will be back in about 90 seconds. Okay, folks, we are back once again, and this is going to be an elimination bracket semifinal between Rolf Moore and the legend Phil Arnold. The winner of this match will move on to the elimination bracket semis to face off with young Stormy Edwards. Players come to the middle of the table, and away we go. Phil Arnold with the opening possession here in game number 1. I do believe Rolf gets some points in this. He may have waived them or denied them, I'm sorry. I will get some more info and an updated score for you here momentarily. And Rolf opens the score, and I do believe he has waived his points, as our official Mike Watts is showing a 1-0 score after the opening tilt. But Phil Arnold comes back quickly. Left rail under shot, and we are all tied up at 1. And Arnold goes to the right rail under to back it up, and now moves ahead 2-1.
Again, we're having a little bit of difficulty with the the referee and hand placement for the scores, but we'll work with that.
Doing our best to keep up with what's going on. Why does it now look like Rolf has 4-3?
Right.
So I guess Rolf did not deny his points. And that would mean Rolf is playing at a level 3 because Phil Arnold's playing at a level 6. Rolf has scored 1, so he is ahead 4-2. And we are all tied up at 4. That is absolutely what happened, folks. I'm sorry, I didn't catch the handicap. Good shot from Rolf off the right rail, going to the under of Phil's defense, giving Mr. Arnold a taste of his own medicine.
Oh, Mr. Moore, 0.4. I guess he learned his lesson by watching people give up their points and not winning their match. So
That's right. So it's 6-4 for
yes.
Rolf.
Yes, it is.
That was a mistake from Moore and Phil Arnold now within a point. Rolf Moore really needing to get off to a good start and win game number 1 here. Nice forehand, but unfortunately just lacked the accuracy. He made an even better forehand for Phil Arnold,
Right.
coming hard down the right side. Mistake by Phil Arnold, surrendering possession to Rolf Moore. We've got sudden death for game number 1. And losing out on an offensive possession is not a good recipe for success, but it works out. Phil Arnold wins game number 1, 7-6. We switch sides, reset, and get things going again.
Yes. And we got to check out the handicap here to start the game.
Rolf gets 3 points.
Rolf is going to get 3 points. And away we go. Did he even start the game back and forth? Oh, but Phil gets one in. And Rolf slowing the game way down, looking for avenues to attack, but it's a lot of pot shots, and Phil is just simply patiently blocking each attempt. Ooh, I got stoned, and then Phil comes back. Smells blood in the water. Slides another one by to tie it up.
Oops! I just opened that one by accident, folks.
Phil gets another one in there. Now leads 4-3 after the handicap start. Little voodoo magic there with the hands. We're seeing it all tonight, aren't we? A little bit of everything.
Another good shot from Phil. Forehand off the left rail. Came cross table, snuck it right behind the defense. Rolf with an answer, but
Not before
definitely
Phil
in
ripped
danger
off
of having his night over here in 2 more points. think for Rolf to have a chance, he's going to need to get to 6 before Phil does. And Arnold blocks the attempt right at center table, takes control of the offense, and scores. Phil Arnold sitting at match point. Rolf with a quick answer, but truly in danger of going home now. Rolf needing to win here in game number 2 to extend this match further.
And he's got a shot.
Rolf's
He's got the game tied up at 6
Moore
apiece.
pushes it to sudden death here in
Yeah.
game number 1. In air hockey, you do not have to win by 2. 1 point will do it. Phil really flirting with the center line violation. We see him do it week in and week out. Definitely had some missed calls from officials in the past. I don't think he's come over yet tonight, but he's definitely flirting with the penalty.
Yeah.
And flirting generally leads to getting lucky, and Phil Arnold finishes off Rolf Moore 7-6 in game number 2.
What
And
a
after
great
his
segue,
7-5 win, 7-5 win in game number 1, Phil Arnold's going to win in straight games over Moore and move on to face Stormy Edwards in the elimination bracket semifinals. We are going to cut away, and we'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Oh, so it's already 4-1. I'm guessing that
What's this kid's name?
the Rook took the points. That'd be Mike Watts. Now it's 4-2, I believe. Watts over Morris. 4-3. Morris making the comeback. Rookie's struggling here tonight with
4-4?
I believe so, yes. Struggling here tonight with the level of competition playing up. Uh-oh. Watts though. 5-4. Tied at 5.
Definitely got a barn burner going here in the winner's bracket final. Winner of this match does earn the first coveted spot at our championship table. And getting there out of the winner's bracket is definitely a lot shorter highway than going through the elimination bracket. Morris gets it to game point first.
And
Oh,
takes.
I apologize.
Oh.
Tony Morris now gets it to game point at 6-5. And looking to close out Mike Watts here in game number 1. Mike Watts, definitely a good run on his first visit to the Robin Hood Weekly. Making it all the way to the winner's bracket final on your first visit is nothing to shake a stick at. Tony Morris going to close out game number 1, 7-5, right at the 2-minute mark. Players switch sides, grab a breath, maybe some advice, turn to the table, and we are ready to go again. We know Mr. Watts gets a 3-point head start based on our handicap system. And Watts is also going to start with possession. But quickly surrenders it, and Morris with a quick score. Obviously, Morris, the more well-seasoned of the two players here. Watts with his first visit to the Robin Hood house, and I believe his first venture down the road of competitive air hockey. Getting a little bit of a taste of what it's like to face somebody who really knows what they are doing. Really feel like Tony needs to take this opportunity against the lower ranked player to clean up some of the accuracy issues he's been having on those straight shots down the middle. Morris working that one off the right rail. Found lots of success tonight using the under strategy when coming off the rails. Whether going right wall under or left wall under, he's been finding the scoring zone by sneaking it behind and not over the mallet of his opposition, and he's continued that same strategy here against Watts, and it seems to continue to work for him. Obviously, working shots off the rail, accuracy can become an issue, where when you're just coming straight down the middle, you really just got to worry about getting your shot on the goal. And against an untested player like Watts, seems that that your first instinct is almost to move the mallet out of the way as opposed to putting it in front of the puck. That was almost the match right there, folks.
And there it is,
and
right
Morris
there.
finds it on the second try, went right back that time, and after all of my spouting about him going under on the offensive side, he finishes off Watts off the right rail on the overside of the mallet that time. All right, folks, we're going to cut away to that goofball video again for about 30 seconds, and we will be right back with some more live air hockey action.
And we're going to be back here in just a moment looking at Marino versus Gibson here coming up. Just as a quick look here, this is the consolation bracket semis. Alright, looks like we're still trying to get set here. Thought we were ready. We apologize for the slight delay in action here again. Sometimes these things happen. Kind of have to wait while people get themselves set and together. All right. Looks like we're getting very close to kicking this game off. We're hoping to get this going. Alright. Here we go. Let's get it together, referee. Let's get ready to kick it off here. Face off, as it were. All right, Marino gets the first natural score of the game. Gibson started with a 3-point handicap. Oh, but Marino quickly gets a second shot in. 3-2. Gibson with a little sleight of hand work there. Didn't score, but it looks nice. And then Marino gets in again to tie the game. Oh, and then takes the lead, storming out the gate here. Oh, good answer from Gibson. Ties it back up at 4. Marino taking his time, trying to set up the shot. Good block by Gibson. Oh. Couple of good blocks. And then he scores. Very good on Gibson. Very well done. And then Marino answers right back. 5 up. And he stones through again, Gibson. 6-5. Whole lot more action here in the last little flurry of the last minute and a half, basically. And Gibson gets it in. Alright, another little pause here between sets. Alright, the referee is back. We should be getting able to kick off this second set here. And away we go. Gibson with a 3-0 lead to start. shot, but it was stoned. Then he slides one by. Slides another by. Two quick ones for Marino. And then Gibson answers 4-2. Maintaining a little bit of that lead. Oh, Marino means business. He is out here again. Gets another one through. Marino with another straight shot. Ties it up at 4. And an off-rail shot that time to take the 5-4 lead. He's just attacking from every angle right now. Marino gets another one in, making it 6-4.
Marino needing to win game number 2 to extend the match. Winner of this moves into the elimination bracket semis. Loser will be packing their bags and going home. Marino closes out game number 2, 7-4.
I was playing him like he was right-handed, and I just realized he's left-handed. That's why I lost.
If you caught it, I would play my right
Because
hand
he's a
first.
savage left-hand player. That's why.
It's like doing those left-beat cigarettes.
Well, but see, it goes like this though.
I like that.
Without that, there's no win. You know.
Game counts one apiece. Tyler's up, 3-0. You ready? Ready? Play puck.
All right, folks. Game number 3 is underway, and Marino picks off right where he left off, getting the opening natural point on the board, and now just trailing 3-1. Nice shot from Gibson, though, off the left rail. Takes the under on that one. Moves ahead 4-1, but follows it up with a horrible mistake and some sloppy defense. Allows Marino to creep back within 2. Good block and parry by Marino, and now the lead is down to 1, and Gibson might be in trouble. Good block there from Marino. Not only did he stop it, he was able to settle the puck and steal the possession away from Gibson.
Lost the puck off the table.
Just playing the elimination brackets down now, folks. We have got Tony Morris waiting at the championship table for an opponent. Tony Gibson, nice shot from Gibson, moves ahead 5-4 on Anthony Marino. And now Gibson has match point in his fingers. Marino staring right at it and doing what he can to stay alive. Gonna need some fortitude on defense right here. Cannot allow Gibson to sneak one by, or this match is all over.
I'm guessing he's not going to get to employ his super strategy on this point.
Gibson with an own goal, I know, is not what he wanted there. Missed badly left on the shot, and the rebound came right back at him. And Marino has tied it up at 5. We are
And
at sudden
steals
death.
it.
No, he has not.
Oh,
Sorry,
I thought
Marino.
it was
That
good.
ties it up. Now we are to
Yeah.
sudden death, folks. And Marino with a nice little run to get right back in it. And this match comes down to this one possession and point. Gibson with little baby drift work at the center line does not work. And Gibson rips one right down the middle. And, Marino rips one right down the middle and finishes off Tyler Gibson 7-6. What an entertaining match, folks. But Marino still working his way towards that championship table. Going to finish Gibson off 2-1. That means, because I believe our other match is over. Give me 1 second. We'll have some results for you. other match is not over. We will have it coming to you here in just a moment. We are going to have Phil Arnold versus Stormy Edwards in the other losers bracket semifinal.
You and Anthony. No. That's why I was asking if you're gonna give it to him. Because you have to play Anthony.
Once I got
You
one
and
or two.
How many left in the group?
4.
Who's that third? Fourth?
You and Anthony, Mike, me.
Okay, so the winner of this got to play Mike.
Yes.
Oh, me and Anthony. The winner plays Mike.
Look, first word.
Damn, that
What
means
about Mike?
And then you play Mike.
gotta give him
Play
6.
You play Mike?
You
The winner of this
score one
plays you.
point. We're all veterans, aren't we?
Yeah.
He plays the winner of that plays me.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
No, he gets 5. 5 is the
I'm
limit.
the map.
If you do 6, then it's unfair. But 5, 6, 7,
I'm a.
it's unfair to give somebody 6 points.
I don't know. I feel like Anthony can come back for 6-0. I just watched him sit at the line and
Tomorrow
block
morning,
like
I'm cleaning my garage and getting my table back online.
Oh, I can tell. I already know.
No, I haven't. It's got so much shit piled on it right now.
Really?
Floor
When
tile.
was the last time you
Sounds like
played
a Gibson stable man.
I played
Sounds like yours too.
Ryan's,
Yeah, that's true.
and then I played 2 weeks
That's mine
before
now,
that
yeah.
here, and then before that, I played 3 months ago.
Again?
A few months. We
No,
cleaned
that's
it off.
the same as you did.
Oh. Because we
But
cleaned
it's-
it off, but we just never moved the shit on
We
the
gotta
other
have
side.
it
It's
on the
always
other
been well played.
Imagine how good you'd be playing.
When I won Texas State, I played for like 3 months in a row. 2 weeks before the tournament, my motor went out, my blow motor, so I couldn't play. I didn't go anywhere. Yeah, it was crazy. Oh, okay. My neighbor and my wife.
Huh?
When it gets cooler, I'm not sure if I can get mine.
Man, we do that shit now.
Now?
Now.
All right, then you're gonna clean off the other side that me and Tyler.
All right.
All right.
Fuck the weather. I'm in.
All right.
Them motherfuckers over there in Austin over there come
He gets
over
to do
here
it by
beat the
himself.
shit out of us, and they play in 150-degree weather in the garage. We need to get on that shit.
Dudes at San Antonio doing that.
Whatever. Whichever area, bro. You know which one we're talking about. Marcus and Doug and fucking Vince could just come down here and beat the shit out of everybody. And they practice in like
He got stank
150 degrees.
Not everybody, just you.
No, I lost to Alex. I haven't attempted to play them. The only time I've played them is
Oh, then, sorry.
at the university when I beat Doug and then I beat Marco. Boy,
I also re-challenged Sarah too.
What?
I re-challenged
I
Sarah.
lost to Marcos at the university 4-0.
She said she
I
was
beat
gonna
Doug,
ask you
though.
what
I won the
we're
tournament.
McLean.
Yeah,
She
that
makes
makes
me
no
challenge
sense.
my
Yeah,
teammates.
No, I beat Doug.
Yeah, how do you beat
No, but it was a handicap tournament. I didn't get any points though.
Hey, is this
5-5.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to real game.
I was a 5. He was
If I
a
go a
5.
little crazy like that. No, I mean like you want like a real game.
Yeah, that's why I didn't beat Marcos because it was 4-7. Because he plays like he got the same style.
At first I tried to slow
Wild
down.
attacking. Wild attacking, man. Oh, bro, he's one of them like art teachers. It's like a lot more up there than it really is. But that's how it always starts. Guilty conscience always over it. It's like you can't call a liar a liar. Because they get
Just got us from here to here. Take your point. 1-0.
Marcus is I like his technique. I don't know. He's kind of like
1-0 still, or however long. Oh, I knew it. 2-0.
All right, guys. Phil Arnold opens the scoring in this elimination bracket semifinal against Anthony Marino. The winner of this match will move on to face Mike Watts in the elimination bracket finals and have a chance at the championship table where Tony Morris awaits an opponent. Phil Arnold's out to a quick 3-0 lead on Marino. Phil stopped in right before this match started, said he was gonna work the forehand pretty hard because Marino had never seen his forehand before, but we haven't seen him go to it just yet. He tried it there, but 4 shot attempts, all missing badly on the left-hand side. But Phil out quickly to a 5-0 lead over Marino. The cagey old vet showing us he's still got lots left in the tank. But Marino finally off the schneid. We have seen Anthony Marino come back in his last 2 matches, making big comebacks against his opponent. But coming back from 6-1 down against Phil Arnold would be a tall order, even for someone like our world champion Colin Cummings. Marino not ready to give up just yet. Gets number 2 by Phil and now trails by only 4. But Phil Arnold with a huge win in game 1 finishes off Marino 7-2 and takes a 1-0 game lead in this match. Arnold 1 step closer to the elimination bracket final. Marino in a must-win situation here in game number 2, taking a moment to gather his thoughts. Little stretch, maybe get some of the stress out. Marino will be on offense to start here in game number 2. Phil Arnold is getting a point in all these as Phil plays at a level 6. Marino still playing at a level 7, but Phil finishing off Marino 7-1 in game number 1. I don't know if Marino can come back from something like that. Phil told Chuck and I he was going to go depend on the forehand because Marino hadn't seen it, but we've only seen the forehand 1 time in game number 1. All 7 of his points coming exclusively on backhanded attempts. Nice block by Phil on that attempt from Marino. Coming down the middle, trying to shade a little bit to the right, but Phil there to Phil all over the shot, able to cover. Marino ties it up at 1 though on the second attempt. A little bit of a circle drift from Marino, unable to break the defense of Phil, and Phil freezes the puck in the corner. There was a little bit of that forehand Phil was talking about, but Marino shuts it down and counters. Slides one right underneath, but Phil with the quick answer. Marino really has something to prove after losing game number 1, 7-1. Obviously, Marino needing to win or his night is over. Puck getting,
wow, did it really go outside?
Puck getting tangled up in the blinds.
Yes.
Usually the humor with the puck comes when the official takes one right between the eyes, but we have yet to see that happen tonight. This Robin Hood Weekly is good for at least 3 to the official's face, and we haven't seen 1 yet. Nice block from Phil. Unable to score on the counter attempt, though. Like to see Phil or Anthony take a little bit off one of these shots. I think a slower pace shot would catch either of these players off guard right now. This puck really flying around the table.
Something a little off speed. Oh.
But what do I know is Marino moves ahead 4-2. Anthony Marino just not willing to give up this 2-point lead over Phil Arnold, and now he extends it to 3. And Marino is sitting on game point here in game number 2. Can Phil Arnold find 4 unanswered to steal victory from the jaws of defeat? We are about to find out. Phil going to need a big defensive effort here, though, against a really strong player in Anthony Marino.
A little showmanship there for Phil.
I think Phil felt a little tinge in his shoulder and stepped away for a second. Phil's now within a point at 6-5. Oh, and what a shot by Phil. Not even stopping the attempt by Marino, just timing it and playing the return off that right rail to the underside with that forehand he's been talking to us about. Beautiful play by Phil. And Arnold looking to close out this match right here, all tied up at 6.
Might have given the puck away.
Phil,
and he pays for it.
Phil tried the off-speed shot, and Marino was sitting all over it. Anthony Marino extends the match, winning game number 2, 7-6. A lot stronger effort from Marino after losing game 1, 7-1. Again, Phil picking up an extra point in each of these games against Anthony. Both these very, very strong air hockey players. The difference between a level 6 and a level 7 player being very negligible. And Marino opens the natural scoring, ties the game at 1.
Oh, wait, I thought he was getting the points against Phil.
Phil unable. No, Phil gets the points against Anthony. And Phil unable to keep that attempt on the table, surrenders the possession to Marino, and Marino capitalizes with a nice backhand attempt coming right down the middle. Tried to go back to that well again, but he missed it wide right on the second try.
We got another tangly.
Phil with another shot. Marino blocks it aside and is going to earn the possession on the puck leaving the table. Another good shot from Anthony.
Marino. He's feeling it right now.
He's picked up some momentum. He seems to be a momentum player. His last match against Gibson was rolling right over him, but halfway through game number 2, Marino seized all the offensive momentum, and Gibson could not hold him off, surrendering games 2 and 3 in huge fashion. Now our players having trouble keeping their shot attempts on the table, and it's costing both players possessions. Phil trying to time that shot by Marino and was able to get the mallet to it, but couldn't get the accuracy he got on that attempt in game number 2. Marino with a nice shot, misses just wide right, and Phil has possession again. And Phil flirting with that center line. We talked about it in his last match. And Marino again laying over the table, getting an arm down. That he fully lost his mallet, so I understand. And Phil not getting an attempt off, so there will be no penalty. Another good shot from Marino down the middle. Catches Phil leaning, but Arnold with a really quick answer.
Trying to get him to go one way, and then he just blasted him on the backside. And again, loose puck on the table. Marino now with control of the puck. Slides one by Phil. It is now 5-2. Oh, Phil gets one back. It's 5-3. And then he loses one again. It is 6-3. Marino point his way. One more and this match is over, ladies and gentlemen. And there it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Who won?
Marino.
Nice. We'll be right back after this short commercial break, guys. All right, folks, we are back. This is our elimination bracket final. Between Mike Watts and Anthony Marino. The winner of this match earning the second coveted spot at our championship table, where Tony Morris is awaiting the winner of this match. Marino playing at a level 7, Watts is playing at a level 1, but we do cap our head starts at 5. And Marino, once again, gets the scoring underway, and now only trails by 4, and now only trails by 3. 2 quick shots within the first 10 seconds of this match, and Marino's
and there's
all
a third
over.
of the 11 seconds. He is all over Watts. Oh.
And now Watt is to game point, just like that. That's why we handicap these matches, folks, because Marino is just having his way with Watts, but Watts only needs to score 4 points to Marino's 14 to move on to the championship table. But Marino continues to make up the stagger.
Yes, he does.
And we are all tied up at 6.
Just like that.
46 seconds in, Marino's completely made up the 5-point head start and now is looking at game point. And Marino finishes him off. What a comeback from Marino. Watt again is going to get his 5-point head start, and we will see what kind of work Marino can make of it this time. So we've got a couple versions of football players here. We've got Dan Marino's long-lost brother and the plural version of JJ and Mr. Matt Watts.
Yes, and along these imaginary lines, I kind of feel like Marino is like a poor man's Jason Statham.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Mr. Watts is going to have to show a lot more electricity and wattage than we've seen from him so far, as Marino just continues to roll. Watts gets it to 6 again, but we are right where we were in game number 1. Watt sitting at 6-2, and Marino needing 5 unanswered. He made pretty quick work of those 5 unanswered points in game number 1.
Yes, he did. That game finished in under 1 minute.
Oh, and Watt sneaks one by. Gonna take game number 2, 7-2. And our level 1 player. Nah, wait, what just happened here?
Yeah, they switched sides. That's right.
They switch sides? Okay.
Yeah. It's game 3.
So, again, here we go. Watts only needing 2 points. Marino going to need to find 7. Both of these players obviously want a shot at the championship table and tonight's big prize pool. I think it's like a whole $40 tonight.
Hey, we're moving on up, okay, to a deluxe apartment in the sky.
Lots of sponsorship opportunities available here at Air Hockey 360 Live, folks. You can message us straight through the Facebook page and just let us know what your business is all about, and I would be happy to give you some airtime on Friday nights. Talk about your product. I promise I can sell things if I set my mind to it. But what I will not do is make this a sober broadcast, because I like my beer just that much. And Matt Watts with a huge upset over Anthony Marino and the elimination bracket final. Marino with a 3rd place finish tonight. Nothing to shake a stick at. Good show from Mr. Watts. But Marino on his first, or Matt Watts on his first visit to the Robin Hood Weekly is going to face off at our championship table against Big Tony Morris. Folks, we are going to cut away for one more break. I would like to thank our sponsors at the I-45 Bingo Hall, where'sthegig.com, and Streamlabs as well. My name's Jay, for my friend Chuck. We will be back with our championship match in just a couple of minutes.
ready? On my lip, I'm just like.
Okay, folks, our championship match is underway between Tony Morris and Mike Watts. I believe Mr. Watts gets a couple of points, and I am just going to go ahead and give it to him. I am not 100% sure if it's 2 or 3. We're going to go ahead and just start with 2 and see how it goes. Morris has already gotten one natural point in the bag, so depending on the handicap, he has now either tied it or is trailing 3-2, but I do believe he has just tied the game. Another good shot from Morris, and we're up 3-2. Now, as this is a double elimination championship tournament, if Tony Morris can manage to win the opening match of this tilt, he will claim the championship. Mike Watts is going to need to win 4 games or 2 full matches against Tony Morris to lay his claim to the title this evening. Again, both of these players, wonderful show from them tonight. Just making the championship table through the field of players we had this evening, an accomplishment in itself. And Mike Watts making the championship table in his first trip to the Robin Hood Championship is an astounding feat. But he now trails Tony Morris 4-2. Watts with the possession, tries to come right down the middle, but Morris sitting there waiting on it, and then Morris counters with the right wall under, and Watts didn't even have a chance.
Tony's sitting on a 5-2 lead there in the first set. Right now, you got to think he's feeling like he's in control of the match. He looks very calm, very steady out there.
Well, Mike Watts has got to feel like the Devil Rays, knowing that he's only got to score 3, but it's the equivalent of facing Verlander, Cole, and Greinke to get the 3 points you need. Verlander with another huge start today, taking a no-hitter through 5.5 innings before finally giving up a hit. And Verlander leaving the game in the 7th inning today
Tony
with a
reach
shutout.
there.
And Tony Morris wins game number 1, 7-2 over Mike Watts. Watts unable to score a natural point in game number 1. So even though the final score was 7-2, that essentially was a shutout for Tony Morris. But again, back to Verlander. I heard something today I thought was cool. Verlander has got World Series pitching game victories. He has got playoff game victories. He has got over 300 wins in his career. But today was the first win in front of his child. Kate Upton giving birth just a few short months ago. And the family deciding that today would be that child's first game. Not a bad first outing, if I do say so myself. And Tony Morris picking up right where he left off. Cuts the lead in half at 2-1. Watts, for as well as he's done today, has yet to score here at the final table.
Yeah, that's 8-9 now. 9 straight for Tony over Watts.
9 unanswered points. Not only 9 straight, 9 unanswered. Watts completely stuck on his 2-point head start. Been unable to sneak anything by Tony. Tony playing really good hockey tonight. Phil Arnold stopping by earlier after losing his match to Tony Morris and saying he's never seen Tony play this well ever. And if anyone would know, it's Phil Arnold, because Phil Arnold knows everybody in air hockey and really knows how well they play. Watts
Finally gets on the board.
finally with the natural point on the board. Only took a game and 2 points from Morris for him to get there. So Watts with a really steep hill to climb, folks. Already trailing 1 game, needing to win 4 games to claim the championship. And Morris has been playing almost flawlessly against him.
as he gets another one by him. Game's tied at 3. Tony's definitely on the attack right now, controlling the puck. But Watts is displaying some pretty steady defense, basically hanging out in front of the cup.
Watts able to sneak by Marino in the elimination bracket final, and Marino is ranked way higher than Morris, but I think that might be what's helping Tony Morris out. Marino was having to make up 5 points, and Morris is only having to make up 2 as he retakes the lead here in game number 3, and now a 2-point lead in game number 3. Tony Morris sitting at 5-3 and 2 points away from a Friday night Robin Hood championship.
Tony definitely back on the attack. You can tell he wants it. He really wants it.
Watts has some good velocity on his shots. Just really needing to work on his... I'm sorry. It was 6, and that is it, folks. Tony Morris is our Robin Hood Weekly champion for October 5th, 2019. Again, folks, tonight has been brought to you by the I-45 Bingo Hall. You can visit their website for information at www.i45bingo.com. Also brought to you by Streamlabs. Great software for any kind of sporting events or interacting with all kinds of social media. And last but not least, also brought to you by where'sthegig.com, a musician's best friend. All the tools you need to track your earnings and your schedule as a musician. Great tool with where'sthegig.com. Congratulations to Tony Morris for his victory this evening. Mike Watts, great show for your first time out with the second place finish. And Anthony Marino, great finish in third place. Thanks again to all of Thanks again to all of our single benefactors. Without you, we could not continue to bring you these broadcasts every Friday night. Folks, my name's Jay, and for Chuck, this has been the Robin Hood Weekly Championship on Air Hockey Live 360. Don't forget we have the state championship coming up on November the 5th. I'm going to leave you with that. This is Air Hockey Live 360 signing out.